And I am back. I am back for the third recording session of this 10-track album. It's been a hell of a ride, but we're here to listen to the remaining 4 tracks of the Fantasy album by Jay Chou. Rest assured, I will review more of Jay Chou's stuff in future, though the next review of his stuff will probably be released in November, if not December. You listen to Sorry and the other 3 tracks from start to finish. Here we think. We got lyrics as well. Made that full screen, eh? Here we go. I'm liking that guitar riff. I'm liking the melody that's being repeated there. I'm liking that bass resonance with the really punchy drums. Sorry. His vocal tonality is instantly recognizable. If someone played me a recording of his more recent material, I would recognize his voice on the spot. It's not even a struggle, you know? You know, I don't know what he's sorry about. We do have lyrical translations, by the way. I'm glad that people have been enjoying the better subtitles, by the way. Glad to see it. I'm really thankful to Kubalike as well as Ling for their work on these translations. I've had offers of more assistance with translation, just with other videos, and I also want to do a comments video soon. We'll just get this done first, though. I'm on holidays at the moment, and I've been procrastinating doing this review, so we'll get, you know, not because I don't enjoy reviewing music, it's just that the last week or 2 of my music tuition was very brutal. As I said in the previous video, I need a bit of time just to, you know, come back and recover. So after a few days off, I'm feeling refreshed, and I'm keen to do more reviews like this. Into a rapping section. The drums are active and quite punchy, and I'm liking these strings that are coming on as additional bits of development within it. He's got his fingers going around his head. Does that mean he's sorry for, like, maybe things he did or thought? We're going up and there's some very discordant kind of tonalities being evoked here. Some DJ scratching. Those plucks, man. That's kind of cute, isn't it? Being pulled up to the crowd like that. That would have made that woman's day. That would have been an incredible experience for her. I don't know if you get away with that nowadays, though. It's nice to have the singing and rapping at the same time. I retain an original line of thought that I had as per the previous songs. I think listening to the first album, you know, like we have the occasional falsetto stuff, but there's not a huge amount of change in my personal opinion between this album and the second one. There's some more hip-hop oriented bits, but then he does kind of go towards some of the sort of more niche kind of humorous stuff occasionally. I still love Ninja. And of course the acoustic poppy kind of stuff. Again, like, there's different sort of instruments coming in and out, but there's this one main musical thing that's retained throughout the whole sort of song. There's not huge changes in the overall textures of the music or the feels of the music. I don't know, the emotional content there. I suppose that would come from knowing the lyrics, though, perhaps. I mean, these kind of bits at the end are kind of interesting because you don't know where they're going. They kind of ascend, you know, just like the lyrics do in the first half of the hook. They kind of go, like that kind of thing going on there. And those instruments are just fun to listen to. I don't understand the context though, but I'm sure we will in a moment. Oh wow, he's an incredible dancer, isn't he? Now that little electronic bit there, that flare reminded me a lot of very, very late 2008, kind of early 2010s kind of dubstep with the synth pads. Very early stuff on though. It was kind of dope though, to be fair. I do like this hi-hat work though. It's reminiscent of a lot of kind of modern trap and stuff like that actually. It's like a precursor to it. Just the busy work of it. You don't have kind of like the bzzz kind of buzz rolls of the kind of like hip-hop and trap nowadays, but that guitar work was pretty phenomenal, eh? You know, I'm not sure which stuff is sampled and which stuff is recorded, but just the way that guitar lick was that tight there, everything was quite perfect about this track, wasn't it? You know, you had different ways of Jay communicating and different sort of vocal techniques, from the rapping to like maybe the melodic kind of melodic rapping to the singing to like the backing vocals and the pad light bits going on. The guitar strings and the sort of more sort of like I don't know what those instruments are, the plucked instruments, those kind of ones, but no, well done. The song kind of grew on me as we went along. Sorry. And we've got the Sorry Dui Bushi lyrics by Jay Chou from the Fantasy album. And I'm just going to read through these as per usual, just before I sort of say too much about them. See, I understand this stuff talking about the classroom desks and chairs of elementary school. So was this a love that Jay Chou had when he was at school? Someone he fell in love with when he was at school? The ring is crying, silently lying in the drawer. All it possesses are memories. Being in love and also breaking up. Like rain that cannot be arranged, that can prepare to strike any time. I can just let life become completely meaningless. Perhaps at the end I can hear you say one more sentence. I suppose the coin in the town square is like maybe referring to a pond where people make wishes. So it sounds like they fell in love at high school and they got married and then they became divorced or something like that. And he's apologizing for that. You know, that last verse talking about how he feels that it's potentially predetermined is maybe saying, you know, if meeting you was meaningless, maybe this was how my life was meant to be. Maybe it's just a waste of time. Or maybe the other person broke him. You know, maybe the other person did something horrible to him. Maybe they cheated on him or something. Talking about softly sighing, regretfully saying sorry at the end. That's what he wishes for that, you know. For it not to have been a waste of time, for the person to show some authenticity. It does sound like a sad song. I kind of understand how the music refers to the subject matter of the lyrics. It just seems a little bit too sophisticated. To me, it represents a situation where Jay Chou is trying to appeal to his core audience whilst also talk about heavier topics. Maybe he's trying to substantiate his position as a musician and as an artist in the second album and try and explore severe topics whilst balancing out the experimental nature of it with the music being a little bit more straightforward and less avant-garde. I don't know, but I think that's basically it. It just sounds like there was a relationship that turned into a shit show. And he just wants an apology. And we got William Castle, which is next. This is an interesting one. William Castle. We got a clock there. Hang on. Is this? Yeah, this is. This is. Sometimes the aspect ratio is a bit weird. Like, this is a wide video, but sometimes there are boxes. Do you know what I mean? And like, I know people want me to use Spotify. Again, I'll reiterate for the people that haven't seen the previous part 3. Literally, the reason I chose these music videos was because people wanted me to choose to use the music videos. I will use Spotify in future, maybe for singles. We'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. I think it's worth noting, though, that more recent videos will arguably have better sound quality, so that's worth remembering, you know? It's very spooky, like a Halloween themed kind of vibe. Kind of a punchy bass with like an 808 or something, and like a church organ or something. And his higher vocal range, cool. He doesn't want to resolve that vocal melody, which is fine. Some melodic rapping here, cool, I dig it. Oh. Oh, cool change in that chord progression there. I like it. That bass line shifts and we've got some 90s kind of West Coast synths. It's interesting that you have that lead in the left there. That's often a good thing to do if you have more than one lead melody, is to like spread it out over the stereo field, because if you try and put all the lead influences in the front, it can become overwhelming to the listener and they don't know what to do with it. It can literally give people migraines, you know, because you're trying to absorb all those different ingredients and it's just too much. Yeah, spread it out. I kind of like this track. You know, not just because it's got spooky stuff happening in the video, but also because you've got more than one main sort of musical section to it. You've got a distinct kind of verse and a bridge and a chorus. You got these whoa, and we're switching here again. We have distinct changes in the bass line, and the expectations of the listener aren't straightforward. You are being refreshed by the music, and it becomes unpredictable without being overwhelming, simply by virtue of having change. And that can be enough to make music interesting. Do you know what I mean? Jay Chou is already a fantastic vocalist, and again, it's cool to have the werewolf. I like that. That's dope. Again, you've got these spooky Halloweeny synths and organ melodies. You know, like you've got aeolians and maybe some like harmonic minors occasionally, but the EQing work as well on those organs is fantastic. They're nice and bright without being kind of clashy. I like this. To be honest, I've been missing this. I'm really happy with William Castle. This seems like something that would represent sort of the fantasy album, although it seems like more of a nightmare, you know? Even that is fun. Again, and like I was expecting it, and then it stops. There's like this abrupt kind of end to it. And you're like, oh, what's happening here? Why did it stop? Because typically they roll over to the next bar And they were like, no, we're going to split it in half. We're going to have distinct. Good move. Nice legato. There's a portamento on that synth on the left side, where you've got because some of these terms with the translators, I'm still explaining them because they're difficult, which is completely fine. Portamento is like a smoothness of the synth between notes. It doesn't stop. It goes like it kind of rolls between the notes as opposed to like that. Look, that amp. That is a Mesa Boogie. I'm not sure if it's a triple rec. I think it's a double rectifier. Yeah, that's a double. That's 100 amp. I have the triple rectifier, which is one of the loudest guitar amps in the world. I have a triple rectifier from that time. They're amazing guitar amplifiers, and they're very, very expensive. I'm not flexing. It's just I know a good guitar amp when I see one. You know. Get yourself a Mesa if you can. They're great fun. Just don't get a Mesa that's being sold brand new now because Gibson, I think, bought Mesa, and Gibson's a shit company. Oh. That speed is what I've been looking for. I've been looking for Jay to push himself a little bit and show his growth between this album and the previous one. And that, you know, that speed and that precision is important to me. And again, it's like it's a different rhythm to what you have with the 1 and 2 and 3. The eighth note groove that has been present throughout this. If you roll with 16ths, if you rap in 16ths, it contrasts. Therefore, it stands out. The listener's like, oh, this is interesting. Bingo. At this point of the song, 3 minutes in, it's a smart position to do that. This is a longer review, man, but it's okay. It's worth it. Oh, switching to the parallel major. Usually that would be a minor chord there in this key signature, but he used a major to simulate things turning out okay and happy in the end. I mean, this song is probably one of my favorites off the album, William Castle. It was a unique experience, and it, you know, we'll have a look through the lyrics. Like, you look at the story, the climbing plants overgrown the tomb of the Earl. You could talk about witches and black cats and crystal balls, werewolf or bat. You know, we've got all these horror elements in it. That was easily communicated by the music and the visuals. It's just these little things where you can make a song original while using cues, audio-visual cues. William Jr., owner of the castle, wears big whiskers. He's used to snoring after sucking the blood. I'm talking about Princess Catherine, who eats rats. Spiders and cockroaches. Is this a callback to the previous album where it was basketball game or something like that, and he was talking about embarrassing him on the court when my girlfriend cheers me out of the court? I'm not sure why we're going to this at this point. Is this meant to be the place where he is full of people who are vampires, and is this an allusion to there being a connection between the two parties? Is that right? I mean, that would make sense to me. That'd be kind of clever. It's just, I think that's kind of why he raps quickly at that point, is it's meant to be sort of like, oh, this is the twist in the tale. Good job, Jay. Good job, Jay Chou. I liked Williams Castle. I think it's a given that the production's on point at this stage and the performances are on step, and it was just nice to hear Jay having some fun with this one, even if the end doesn't sound particularly positive.